I greet you with grace and peace, and with open hands and an open heart. I am delighted to welcome you tonight for our annual star lighting. This happens on the first Sunday of Advent every year when we put up the star and then we light it. We'll turn it on for the first time in a few minutes. If this is the first time you've been to a star lighting ceremony, it's very peaceful, it's relaxed. It's supposed to feel kind of like your living room, so you can take your shoes off and put your feet up a little bit and relax. We sing a little and we talk a little bit, and we're going to celebrate tonight the beauty of being together. We start by doing some singing, and we're going to do the kind of singing that you can do without opening a book. We're just going to sing some Christmas carols. I know it's a little early in the season, but you never have enough chance to sing Christmas carols. So let's go ahead and just stay seated, and let's start by singing the first verse of "O Come All Ye Faithful." Settle in just a little bit. That's excellent. Okay, let's try "O Little Town of Bethlehem." A little more complicated, but you can do it. Here we go. Tonight, for those of you who were able to be here for our soup supper before, thanks to our confirmation class for making all that great soup and the chance we have to be together. It feels like it's been a long time since we've been able to gather like this, so it's wonderful that we could have that ceremony, the soup, and then this ceremony. This morning, I talked a little bit about Advent being the time when we begin to practice a little more the way we take care of our neighbors, and I just want to remind you about a couple of projects that we're working on here at the church. This tree was full this morning of ornaments. There's only one left. So I'll expect that will be gone before the day goes. Somebody can take that on the way. Just a reminder that that is our angel tree, and there were 35 or 40 ornaments this morning representing families or especially children in our community who we're going to help out by buying some things for them at Christmas time. So that's an opportunity. There's one more left there. You can do that. So that's a nice way of sharing. Also, every weekend through between now and Christmas time, we'll be ringing bells and we'll be those little kettles. All of those have to do with the emergency fund and the idea that we're constantly collecting money so that we have that money all year round to be able to go out and share. My competition has arrived. Now he's going to throw me all off. Those kettles, if you put a little money in there, but also you can sign up. Shalom at Home has a link where you can sign up to ring bells. When you ring bells, you're helping other people to notice that it's there. And again, Advent is a time when we prepare our hearts, and we do that by reaching out and sharing with others. All right. Well, welcome tonight to the ceremony. The ceremony begins by talking about light. We're going to light the star, and the symbol of the star that is above me that we will shine, we will turn on a minute. Maybe you've noticed already, we have a lot of symbols of light here in the room because light has been, for people of faith, a symbol of God's presence for a long, long time. The idea that even in the darkness, it's amazing how light can pierce the darkness and how it can change the way we feel, how it can change the environment of a room. Light becomes a profound symbol of God's presence in our life. Isaiah, one of our most important prophets during the season of Advent, has a number of great things to say about light. One of my favorites was that the people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. The idea that even when we're struggling in our hardest time, somehow God shows up to bring light to us, and that light is a symbol of presence. Isaiah also says, "Arise and shine, for your light has come." Another beautiful idea that light can come upon us at any time, and we need to have eyes to see, and we need to be looking for that light all throughout, not only this Advent season, but the Christmas season as well. So I'm delighted to welcome you as we remember the light that moves amongst us, and the idea finally over the child of Bethlehem, the idea of the star, and that's where this symbol comes from. The star of Bethlehem that guides people towards the truth that will set them free. This is about what we are as followers of this way in the world. This light becomes our guide that guides us all the way. And tonight, we'll get to relight it again. All right, let's sing again. We're going to sing Hark the Herald Angels Sing. Great voice. Let's try Away in a Manger. So this particular star comes out of the Moravian tradition, the Moravian Church in America. This is the tradition that was my family's tradition for many generations. And the story of the star goes back almost 150 years to a boys' school in Germany. And the boys were at school, and it was winter break, and they were getting ready to go home, and a big storm came through and kind of socked them in and closed down the school, and none of the boys and none of the teachers could get home that year. Can you imagine being a high school teacher and being stuck over Christmas break with all of your students? Anyway, so one of the clever math teachers, they were looking for things to do. They had sung all the songs and played all the games. He said, let's see if we can geometrically design a perfect star. So he got his math class to begin to create shapes, and they came up with a number of different designs. And the teacher, of course, having nothing but time, said, you can not only draw it on paper, you have to be able to build it, and you've got to be able to build it out of paper. So they brought out glue and scissors and paper, and they began to put together all of the different various shapes and designs for stars. And ultimately, this was the design that they felt like was the most beautiful and the most perfect. If you notice, it has in the inside squares and triangles coming together, and it has 3 different rows of 8 and then a point on the top and the bottom. So it's a 26-point star. And it comes apart, and we just put it together again on Wednesday before we put it up. It weighs less than a pound. So this was the original star that they made, and what happened after that Christmas is some of the parents saw this and thought, hey, those stars are cool, why don't you make some more and sell them? Every good school needing a fundraiser. And so they began to do this, and the boys would make the star. It became a little cottage industry for the school. They would sell the stars, and people around the town would buy them. And eventually, as history moved forward, people began to pick up the idea that these stars were connected with this Reformed church called the Moravian Church. And by the time that people start coming to, are sending the stars to this country, there are not enough star builders around. And so people in this country began to build stars. And my grandfather started being a star maker. And when I was a little boy growing up, my grandfather had in the corner of his living room a card table, and almost every day of his life he would go and fold and make stars. And he would make small ones for families. So families might hang a star like this in your front, out on your front porch or in a window near the front. And so he would make star ones, the small ones, but then he would also make these, the larger ones, for big sanctuaries that could hold these wonderful big stars. So my Pop Miller made stars for many generations. My favorite part of this story was he worked on these every day, and I remember asking about, did he make money on this? And my grandmother telling me that my grandfather never took any money for any of the stars he made. This was his love gift to all the people, and in his lifetime, he made hundreds of stars for people. Anyway, my father picked up the craft when he had a little more time in his later life and began to also make stars. And when I came here to be the pastor, he just asked if he thought our church and our sanctuary would want a star like this, and I said, yeah. And so he said, well, there was a star that Pop had. Pop was what they called my grandfather. There was a star that Pop had that had kind of fallen apart. He said, I bet I could refurbish that star, and then I will send it to you. And for my 37th birthday, don't do the math too much on that, this was a gift that I got for my 37th birthday. He sent this here, and we put it together that first year back in 1997. And we put it up. And just when I'm getting ready, I asked my dad about the star that my Pop had made. I said, where did that star come from? And he said, well, it says on the inside, because my grandfather was meticulous. He would write dates down on things. It says that this is the star that used to hang in West Side Moravian Church. And I said, so the inside, a lot of this was from the original star that hung in West Side Moravian Church. And I said to my dad, what years did it hang there? And my dad said it hung in West Side Moravian Church probably from the mid-1950s to the early 1960s. And I said, would that star have been hanging in the church at West Side Moravian in 1959, in Advent of 1959? And he said, of course. Why? I said, because I was baptized in that church at that time. So it was unbelievable to me that we learned that I was baptized under that star that my father refurbished and then sent here all those years ago to be a part of this. And so we have been doing this. My mom and dad both gone now, but they sent this gift those years ago, and we've been enjoying this star together all this time. And so it is later on tonight, just after we light the star, it'll be a great and wonderful pleasure for me to actually do a blessing for my grandson, Ember, under the very same star that his pop, that's me, he calls me Pop was baptized under as well. So I'm delighted that you could come and share this, and we could light this together. So one last thing I want to say, and then you want to say something, I know, okay? So the big question everybody's been asking me is, so are you taking it with you? And I am not. I am leaving this here for you as a gift. I want this to remain. It was built for this sanctuary, so the Rubers family helped me put it together this last year, and they're going to be putting it up for the next few years, getting it ready. So please accept as my gift this beautiful star to remember something very important, and that is that the light always remains. The light always stays. So we'll keep that light here.
Thank you, Steve.
Paul's got to run.
So in honoring you, Steve, and thanking you for leaving that star with us, the confirmation group and our UCC church would like to thank you for graciously leaving that star with us. You've been our guiding light for the past 27 years, and that light will remind us that you'll always be with us.
That's right.
Even when you're far, far away in New Hampshire with no young people, though, right? Just right. So you better enjoy this now. So if you'd like to open that, yes. I think the lid comes off. You don't have to yep, there you go. So it's a plaque with the picture of the star on it, and it says, "To our guiding light for 27 years from your family at the United Church of Christ, Vermilion."
Oh, beautiful.
So thank you.
Thank you, Terry. I'll set this up on the table. It looks beautiful. So you have a star, and I have a star. That's awesome.
One more thing, because of the guiding light here, this ceremony will be officially renamed the Pop Miller Star Lighting Ceremony. It was already approved by the cabinet.
That's beautiful. All right, let's sing a little bit in honor of that. The first Noel, let's sing that together. And then as we work our way towards the star lighting, let's sing Silent Night. And just so you know, I'll be turning out the lights as we sing that. Let's sing Silent Night together. pray with me, please? Good and gracious God, we are so grateful tonight for the presence of light that has been with us throughout all of the ages. From long ago, the light that shines even in the darkness. Most especially tonight, we are grateful for the light of community, the idea that we have these amazing relationships that hold us together through good times and hard times. Thank you for all of those gifts. Thank you tonight for the generations of the stars, for the star makers and the stars that have hung in homes and churches all around the world that becomes a symbol of our hope in this moment. As we light this star this night, oh God, may that light come alive in our hearts so that that light will shine in all of our darkness and will guide us all the days of our lives. All this we ask through the amazing grace of Jesus Christ. Amen. Invite us now to be in silence as we wait for the lighting of the star. It's amazing all the different ways that light can break into our lives. One of the ways that we've been celebrating lately is the way that light breaks into our life in the form of children. And so tonight it's my privilege to do a blessing for my grandson Ember under the very same star that I was baptized so many years ago. So I'm going to ask my family to come on up. Ooh. So we've got some grandmas and grandpas and guide parents all around the country who are watching this online, so they need to be able to see Ember a little bit. So sorry for that. This is what you get when you have a media team, right? They know how to do this kind of stuff, so they add that for us today. So we have gathered up here on the table all kinds of beautiful elements that are symbolic of all of the wonderful creation that surrounds us all around the world. And what I love most about the idea of being under the star is this great thing we learn from science, that all of the elements that make up the stars actually make up us too. We are really star people, and generations of people have been a part of the idea of all of those elements coming together. And if you look around all of the amazing diverse ways that we are human beings, right? We don't look alike. We are unique in our own way, but we're basically all made of the same stuff, and that is the star stuff. And so it's our privilege tonight to bring my grandson Ember here so that we might do a blessing for him tonight. So if you will, we invite you to pray with us as we bless this child. So, by what name do you call this child? Ember Shaw Summit. We bless you tonight with all of the elements, and we bless you with the gifts of truth. Ember, we bless you with all the elements, and we bless you with the gifts of love. We bless you with the gifts of hope. We bless you with the gifts of peace. We bless you with the gifts of joy. We bless you with the gifts of laughter. We bless you with the gifts of family. And now, would you all pray with me as we bless this child? May the spirit of all of those wonderful gifts of hope and joy and peace and love, may they be with you, Ember, today and tomorrow and always. And may they be with your family and all the families of the earth as we walk together celebrating the light that is in all of our lives. Amen. How about we sing Joy to the World? I'd like you to meet Ember. And just remind you that no family, not my family, not your family, no family does this family thing alone. If Ember's going to know about love and hope and peace, he learns it from the people who are around him. And tonight we celebrate not only the light that's in him, but the light that's in all of us. And may that be our blessing today and always. My friends, go in peace. God bless. You can wave.